Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today we're going to be talking about the number 3. Now, all three of these together equal 9, and as Nikola Tesla said along these lines, I don't remember the exact quote, but if we knew the power behind the numbers 3, 6, and 9, we could have the secrets to unlock the secrets of the entire universe. So 3, 6, 9 and the number 3 is one of the most empowering, important numbers in numerology. That's why it's the number of creativity and creation itself, which we always think of with the Empress. Now, the Empress, like I said, is labeled 3 of the major arcana, and she's astrologically connected to Venus because it reminds us that we can create beauty in our lives. We can create things magical. Life itself comes from the Empress. It comes from us. It's action and thought process combined together. If you've watched the other couple videos I've done of the whole tarot and numerology thing, then you know we've talked about the 1, action with the Magician, and the 2, the thought process and intuition that comes from the High Priestess. It's those energies, masculine and feminine, that combine together to give us the energy of the Empress, to create something, to make something in our lives. We take the action, just like we do with life, and we apply it to that thought process. You know, the man might be the one with the seed that goes into the woman and creates, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not really sure. But it's the one that, the action that connects with the woman's egg, and it brings life itself. It makes life. But it's that woman's womb that creates it, that has that thought process, that time needed. So that's why the Empress is very much a card of relating to pregnancy and life itself, and it's the mother. And all of these stars up there, we think those relate to the 12 signs of the zodiac. So you have all that energy of creation itself, creativity and everything. And that's the beauty of the Empress. But she's just one card related to the number 3. So we're going to set her aside. We're going to keep her. I'm going to try to keep everything in the screen, but, you know, maybe zoom out a little bit. We'll keep her right there. And we might have to move things around. But we know, Empress, 3, that's the one we think of the most. But we talked about that 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are the only numbers that can connect to give us 3. Now, when it comes to like 4, you've got 3 and 1, you've got 2 and 2, you've got that kind of energy. And the higher we go in the sequence, the more numbers can combine to make a different number. But 3 is only able to be created by 1 and 2, or 2 and 1, you know, they're interchangeable. First, we're going to talk about the 1 and 2, though, and that relates to the Hanged Man of the major arcana, labeled 12. Now, 12, we can tell from this illustration, you know, that's, again, taking time to think things through, think outside of the box, come up with a new perspective and idea. Now, these two cards don't seem to connect all that well, don't seem to have that same energy, but I want to point out the yellow. The yellow that is in the background of here, yellow in the hay or whatever this is, wheat down at the bottom, and you see the yellow right here around the dude's head as he hangs upside down. It kind of reminds us creativity is with us at all times, and we take the time to really stop and think, not really act. We're coming up with that energy to create something, those ideas we need to create something. So that yellow in the background and that yellow right here, they both kind of go together, and we have that energy once again of creativity and creation itself, and it reminds us that we take time to learn from where we've been, and by this point, you know, 3's been far behind us. And we have that 1 and 2 because it comes after the 11. We've done the entire major arcana sequence. You know, we've learned from the past. We've been fair to ourselves because, you know, justice rests behind the Hanged Man, and then death waits for us in front of it. So that death card that follows the Hanged Man, it shows we've taken that time to learn, and we've decided where it is we want to go next and what we need to leave behind in order to do that. So this card with the Empress, reminding us of motherhood and taking that time to just think everything through, wait to act, continues over here with the Hanged Man, who also tells us it's not necessarily time to act. Take time to hang around, learn from where we've been, think of a new way forward, think of new ideas, new perspectives before we take action again. Like, he's not in any kind of danger or anything like this. I mean, that little vine right there might break and he'll fall on his head, but we're not going to think that way. This isn't like hangmen of the past. This isn't like evil doers. I wanted to say evil do-gooders, but that's kind of the opposite. So do-evilers? We'll go with that. But that it's not that kind of energy. He's not done anything wrong. He's taking that time to think things through so that he can create something. 1 and 2. The action has been taken already. Now it's time to take a break, to look within, to decide what we want to do next. So he can trust that intuition and come up with a new way forward, to come up with a different perspective forward. So we've got 3 of the Empress, 3 of that Hanged Man with the 1 and 2 right there. And then the last card of the major major arcana relating to the number 3 is 2 and 1 interchangeable. 1 and 2, now we're talking about 2 and 1, because that thought process and that action that we took together help us create the success of the world. And that's why the world, I feel, is label 21 of the major arcana and the completion of it, because it shows all those times we've created before, all those ideas we've taken, all that action we've taken and thought things through as we thought outside of the box. That's what led us to the success of the creation of the world itself, that creation and the success and wealth that comes with feeling on top of the world. Now, unlike the Hanged Man with the yellow around his head and the Empress with the yellow all around her, the world and the character in it doesn't seem to have much yellow. But this is the way that I like to see it as. See the blue in the background and the green and the wreath? Well, the yellow is the one missing because the yellow has already been added. Blue and yellow in the color scheme make green. So that creative energy that was here in the mind, that creative energy that's in the background of this one and being created, it's been blended already to create the success of the world. Now the blue I always relate to like intelligence, logic, intuition. That's why the High Priestess wears the blue outfit. That's why the Two of Cups has that too. A lot of that like emotion, like the Suit of Cups, water, that relates to emotion a lot. But when you learn from those experiences and you don't let the emotions hold you back anymore, and you learn the lessons that the past have to teach you, then you have that creative or that intuitive energy of the High Priestess. And that's one part of all 3 of these cards. The Empress right there, she couldn't have created life itself. She couldn't have made those creative, beautiful things that she's creating without that thought process. The Hanged Man has all this experience from all these things of his past, and he's taking that time to learn from them so he can create something new. Now we've made it to the end of the major arcana, before it begins with the Fool, starting all over again, because that's life. So the yellow isn't necessarily in this illustration because that yellow has already been created. We've already created the success of the world. So that's just my little take on why there's no yellow in this illustration. As this is a Rider Waite Smith, it's just one example of these 3 cards. It's the ones we know and we most of the cards that we know today and the ones that are created are based on this original deck from 1909 by Pamela Colman Smith and Arthur Edward Waite. Now, it's not even the first tarot deck created, but it's the one that is the most illustrated and most used today. So we have that creation. Tarot itself is a creation. It's an idea. An action was taken on an idea, and these cards were made. So those are the 3 major arcana cards connected to the number 3. So we're going to set them all aside, and I'm going to leave that Empress right there. I'm going to leave that Empress right there because she's the beginning of it all. She's creativity, creation itself. It's that action and thought process together that created all of us. Now, the next cards I'm going to show you are the minor arcana cards related to the number 3. It's the 3 of Wands, 3 of Swords, 3 of Cups, and 3 of Pentacles. Now, we're going to start, I have them in this sequence, so we're just going to start with the 3 of Wands. There's no actual order or anything, I feel like, when it comes to the minor arcana. It's in the sequence 1 and 10, depending on the different suits, but it doesn't matter which order they go in. So the 3 of Wands is actually my favorite card of any deck ever. The 3 of Wands is probably my favorite tarot card ever, because this is the card after the should I say or should I go thought of the 2 of Wands. So we have that energy, we thought about it. We decided where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do, and now we're embarking on it. We're working to create it. And look at that background. That shows the potential and everything that awaits to be created because we made the choice to follow our passion. So that's why this is my favorite card. It's taking these ideas and running with them, embracing what feels right to us and what lights our inner fires. And we show the world that it's okay to do the same. And that's the beauty, I feel, of the 3 of Wands. It's when we feel inspired to go after our creative endeavors, we inspire others to go after theirs. So wave that freak flag high, show the world what we can create, and inspire them to create their own passions as well. So that's the energy of the 3 of Wands. All 4 of these cards relate to creativity and creation itself because they are the suits. Or not the suits, the number of creativity and creation itself. Very positive card with the 3 of Wands. You made the choice. You're following your fire. Not so positive with the 3 of Swords, though. The 3 of Swords is considered the card of heartbreak and betrayal. You see all those swords stabbed in that heart? This isn't a happy card. All the rain and everything shows all the pain and sadness that comes from a broken heart. But that doesn't change the fact that it's still a 3, which still relates to that Empress, the Hanged Man, the world, which shows us that that Empress energy is within us, within this. The Hanged Man energy is within this, and the world energy is in this. It shows that creativity and the potential of creation that can come from the pain of the past. And I think that's the silver lining of this card. No one wants to see it in a reading. It's like the Tower. It's like, I don't want to deal with this. I did a reading once, and the woman didn't tell me what her big question was. She just started shuffling the deck, because I like to do general readings, and then, you know, they build on that. And the woman, like, this card flew out of the deck. And when the woman said, what does that mean? I said, we'll get to that, you know, just, you know, we'll do the reading, and then we'll see what that card wanted to share with you. And we didn't even look at it yet. So when the reading, like, we were all done and everything, I said, let's take a look at that card. And I flipped it over, and it was this card, the 3 of Swords. And I said, so what were you thinking when you were shuffling the deck? And she said, I was wondering if my husband was cheating on me. Well, this is one that would definitely say yes. I wasn't exactly thrilled that that came up for her, but I was really impressed that, like, that card wanted to come up for her. They were confirming that, and that's the beauty of the tarot and why I love it. Sometimes you don't even realize exactly what's being said. You know the meanings and everything, but you don't know these people. You've never met them before. That's the fun of reading for strangers. And when it's all said and done and they start talking to you about it, then you realize why these cards came up and the power that the universe has to share. So the 3 of Swords, again, not a positive card. All of these are rather positive. This one's very positive. This one's very positive. This one's very positive. But 3 of Swords, not so much. But look at that background. That's that blue energy. That's that intuition, that logic. And this is the Suit of Swords. So it very much relates to logic. So take the emotion out of it for a moment. And just take time to think. You know, you've already had the action. The action of the heartbreak already happened. You have that thought process now, that intuition, that High Priestess energy. That's what gives you the Empress. That's what gives you the creativity and creation itself. So the silver lining of this is a question. What can you create from the pain when you let go of the pain and you focus on the good? Now, Taylor Swift is one of the most famous people alive right now. So I always like to point out that energy, which shows, like, all of her songs. I don't actually listen to Taylor Swift. Like, I'm a rocker. I'm not into, like, poppy stuff. But anywho, the Taylor Swift energy. Most of her songs and her fame comes from writing songs about heartbreak, all the men that she's left behind, all the times she's broken up with dudes, that kind of thing. So she's created something from that heartbreak and betrayal. And it reminds us, when we're able to take the emotion out of the equation and we're able to focus on, like, taking those swords out of our hearts, then we can create perhaps something better than we ever had before. So whereas this is making the choice, having made the choice to go after our passions, the 3 of Swords kind of says the same thing, making that choice to look beyond the pain and see what we can create from it. Now the 3 of Cups, that's a card of celebration and just spending time with our friends, like toasting our cups to all the things we have in common. The creations are already down here. We have the pumpkins, we have the oranges, and whatever else this stuff is. So it's celebrating a successful harvest. Now again, though, it's still that 3. It's still that creative potential and energy. So it kind of has a question here as well that suggests, you know, collaborating with others to create something wonderful. As we go and we toast our cups to one another, we start talking, we start having fun, we enjoy being around each other's company. So we have this thought process, like, that collaborates with other people, that we can all put in something in order to create something new. I know there's a better word for that, but I can't think of it right now. So just utilizing the time that we have with other people can help us create something that fulfills us all. So I feel like that's why the 3 of Cups energy is that. It still very much shows that creative potential. And I like the fact it's like that world over here, and even the blue of the Hanged Man back here, which shows that logic and intuition is always there when you take the time to think things through. Now all these 3 people, they've all had experiences. They all have lives that they've lived. So when they come together and they collaborate on their ideas, then they can create something that's beneficial to all of the ones involved. And I think that's why it's so important to learn from where we've been, because that's what teaches us what we want to create when we move forward. And that's what will lead us to the success of the world. We have to take the time to think outside of the box, be enlightened by the past, when we let go of the pain that we've experienced, when we collaborate with others. That can help us, give us the creative potential to create the future that we want. Now, last but certainly not least of the minor arcana cards, still got the court, we'll get to that in a minute, is the Three of Pentacles. Now, like the Three of Cups that we met just a moment ago, the Three of Pentacles is also a card of collaborating with others. All three of the cards that we have over here with the Major Arcana and the Three of Wands and the Three of Swords only show one person, but it reminds us that we can create things with other people too. We mustn't be afraid of collaboration. Now, I don't know which one, I assume this is this guy, because he's got this weird little cup thing right here. Maybe he's using that to make the little symbols and stuff, but he's the one that originally made this. He's the one that put all the work in and everything to create this mausoleum or this building that we see here. Now, he's not alone though. These people have ideas too, ideas that can help him perhaps create even more and to make this even better. So the Three of Pentacles is very much a card of creativity and creation itself as well. But it reminds us too that we don't have to take everything on all on our own. We don't have to create everything just by ourselves. It reminds us that our creations, when we take the time to think things through, we can talk to other people too, like the Three of Cups suggested, in order to make something successful. And again, something beneficial for all. So collaboration is very much an energy of creativity and creation itself. Just like in the Empress and life itself, it shows it takes more than one to tango, and it takes more than one to create anything. So we don't have to do everything on our own. We can collaborate with others to create things as well. And that is the final card of the Minor Arcana that relates to the three. But we still have the court cards. Now, I've told you before, I want to leave the Empress still, because she's like the beginning of it. She's creation and creativity herself, so we'll leave her right there. Now, when it comes to the court cards, they don't necessarily have numbers. All of these cards right here, they have the number right on them. But the cards that don't have any numbers can be a bit confusing when it comes to numerology. But they very much have numbers connected to them when we see them as the next step after the completion of the 10. That relates to the Page, who is 11. The Knight is the one that we're focused on now. The Queen is 13 and the King is 14. That Knight, though, is 12. And all four of, let's try to get them in order as I had them before. There we go, yes. Wands, Swords, Cups, and Pentacles. Right there. All the creators, all the knights soldiering on to create the lives that they want. Now, it's interesting. Some are looking forward and some are looking backwards. Like the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is going this way. He's looking back at that Empress. He's learning from the experiences of the past. The Knight of Wands is known for being flighty. He's astrologically connected to Sagittarius, and take it from a Sagittarius, that's me, said, you know, there's always something new out there, always something new, exciting, passionate that you want to follow. So the fact that he's looking backwards kind of gives me the idea that he's... Dog barked and I lost my train of thought. We were on the Knight of Wands, that 12 energy, action, and thought process. It's like he's looking back at those things he thought about before, those actions he took. Is it right that he left them behind so he could focus on something new? You know, there's all kinds of everything we do. We're creating something. Every time we pick up a pen, a paintbrush, just anything, we're creating what we want. We're creating the lives we want to live. So he's got his wand. It reminds us we can create what we're passionate about. We move to the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is also looking towards the past. The Knight of Swords, who's astrologically connected to Gemini, is the one he's facing the past, because it's like, I've fought this before. I've created something before. I've dealt with stress before. It's those those actions that I've done that can help me create what I want in the future, because if I face chaos, I know what I'm going to do. I know I'm strong enough to overcome it. So whereas the Knight of Wands, he leads with passion, the Knight of Swords leads with logic. He's creating something logical for himself and facing the obstacles that stand in his way, because he's learning from the experiences of the past. Now, the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, both of them look forward. He's got his little wings on his head. I love that. It's just kind of showing like that flying forward, creating something you love. That cup is completely empty. It shows the ability to put something in it, to create something better, create something emotionally fulfilling. He's letting his heart lead him in the creations. And it's interesting too, all four of these knights, they all relate to the mutable signs of the zodiac. This was Sagittarius, the mutable fire. This is the Knight of Swords, so it's mutable air with Gemini. Knight of Cups, mutable water with Pisces. So we have all this energy of going with the flow, not letting our emotions overwhelm us, moving from emotion to logic, back and forth, showing that ability, action, and thought process, you know, they're not the same thing. They're very much opposite, coming together to create something new. So the Knight of Cups, he's focused forward. He's learned from his experiences of the past. He's ready to overcome like the emotions and let his heart lead him to where he wants to be. And that Knight of Pentacles is astrologically connected to the mutable earth sign of Virgo. And Virgo knows the importance of creation. They know the importance of those little details in order to create something beautiful, because Virgo is the virgin of the zodiac, the mutable earth, and they know how to create something beautiful in this earth, and they know how to deal with it, like not give up even when things get boring and mundane. And of all four of these, you notice this one is the one that connects the most with the Empress over here, with the symbol of Virgo, or Venus, not Virgo, because Venus is the planet of beauty, it's the planet of love. And this guy, this Virgo energy right here, all of these fields are ready for something to be created from it. He's got that pentacle, he's got that focus, he's got that dedication. And the sky is the same color as that sky over here that shows the creative potential that awaits him when he doesn't give up, even when things are boring. And that's the thing about creativity and creation itself. You know, it might not always be fun. It might be boring. It might be mundane. It might be downright painful at times. But we don't give up. We learn from those experiences of the past. We let logic lead our way as well as our hearts. You know, logically, it can't be bad forever. Something good will come out of this. It can help us create the lives that we truly love and enjoy. And that is the energy of 3, which makes it one of the most powerful numbers in numerology. It's creativity, it's creation itself. It's the reason we are all here, you know? Action and thought process. Take action on those ideas, but think everything through as well so that you can create what you really want in life. As always, I really want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Go forth, my friends. Create the lives that you live, lives that you love. Life is short, so create the ones that you truly want to live by learning from those experiences that you've lived there before. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Personal readings are always available. You can message me on the comment on this video, message me on the socials. All of that will be in the link below, as well as the link to my website, so you can just book one directly from there. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.